Now we want to talk about brittle structures. So these are going to be rocks that are going to break. And the first kind of brittle structure is going to be a joint. So the hallmark of a joint is there's no movement of the rocks relative to each other. So in the case of a fault, which we're going to talk about next, the rocks are going to slip relative to each other. So in the case of a joint, there is going to be a breakage between the rock layers, but there's not going to be any movement between them. Okay, so what is going to cause a joint to occur? So they're being caused by tensile stress. So that means that the rocks are experiencing a stress that is pulling them apart. So this stress could come from stretching. It could come from pore pressure, so fluids getting into the rock and then causing the rock to break apart. It also could be caused by cooling. So for example, basalt, as it cools off, it contracts, and that makes columns that are hexagons that are next to each other. And it could also be caused by unloading. So when rocks are inside the earth, they're under a lot of pressure, and then when they're brought up to the surface because of erosion, they can expand. Okay, another interesting thing about a joint is that water, as it goes through the joint, can deposit materials, and so this is how we get veins of gold and silver and copper. So hot water, and it has these minerals and ores dissolved in it, and then as it cools off, as it goes through the joint, it deposits that material inside of those joints. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about faulting.